probably already live. All right, guys.
Yep, already got the notification.
There it is.
Yep. Welcome back. Another episode of Count the Bucket. I'm your host, Amber Vickers. I have my two lovely co-hosts to the right of me, and two newbies, and one guy that's been on the show a couple of times, of course. I see, Brandon. I held on. I'll pump the brakes, but we got a great show. We got top 10 small forwards of 2021-2022 season. Keep in mind, this is our list. Some of these guys might be on your list, might not, but who knows? But I'm going to let these guys introduce themselves, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right, I guess I'll go first since I'm to your left, right? I don't know how this goes.
You took my right.
Yes, Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. As you can see, MD Lawson 00 is my handle on Twitter, Instagram, all that whole 9 yards. TikTok, I'm cool, I know. But also, I'm on the show with Backstop Banter every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Got a great host. I'm super excited. As you can see, I'm a fan actually going to have TJ Antone on, who is actually a pitcher for the Reds now. He's a relief pitcher. He had Tommy John surgery, so his season ended early. So excited about that. Go check that out. Of course, co-host with Count Bucket. So that's it for me.
As y'all know, my name is Nick Andre, newest co-host of Count the Bucket. I know people were upset that I didn't make it last week. People were hitting me up like, yo, where's Nick at? Where's Nick at? He's not showing up to work, but I'm here. I am here, so that's all that matters. As you all know, I'm a basketball writer, analyst, covering everything from high school to the pros. Follow me on Twitter at NickAndreATR. I can't believe I don't have a TikTok yet, but Michael does, but I'm going to create one now that you said it.
How do you – okay, I'm just going to throw this out too, Nick. You can't be like most guys that I see on here that are my friends, like on other stuff. They've got TikToks, but they don't have any videos. Like that's just saying I am a creeper.
Really?
You have to at least make one video if you're not creeping.
I don't have a TikTok. I don't care for it. So, hey, guys, you guys got it. Who wants to go?
Who have Facebook?
Ugh, no.
I'll go.
Okay.
Jimmy Jones at Twitter at Jimmy Unwrapped. Look me up. I just started a weekly article for NFL Wrap Up. I just go over everything that went on throughout the week of NFL and try to be as entertaining as I can. But other than that, I do a lot of writing right now. I wrote a lot of random articles. I'm into a lot of different sports, so a lot of random articles. Check them out on unwrappedsports.com. But that's me, and you'll see more of me here soon, I hope.
There we go.
There we go.
I guess I'll go ahead and go next. My name is Brandon. I've been on here a couple times. I'm super happy to be back. It's been a while. Brandon.Vicuña on Instagram, Brandon Vicuña on Twitter. Happy to be back. Let's get into it.
Awesome. So I guess we're going to save the best for last today.
Yep.
I am the newbie, the rookie on the show. You can find me at Twitter at SwanRobbie, also on Instagram at SwanRobbie. Super excited to be here, and you guys will be seeing a lot more of me.
All right. I'm your host, Amber Vickers. Check me on Twitter only. No TikToks, no Instagrams, no Finsta, whatever those kids use for alias. You can't catch me on Hinge, Tinder, none of that. Just Twitter. All right. Just Twitter at simplyme_AB. I have a link tree. Nick put me onto the link tree, so all my work is in the bio. See, Michael, you don't have to write down everything I do anymore. All the work is in the bio. Every
time we have a show, why do you check this out, this link tree? And by the time I think about it again, it's time for a new show.
You can still make one. It's still possible. But I'm not adding anything to my link tree anytime soon because life and work. All right, guys. We're going to do some promos. Michael, you want to start the first promo?
Sure.
It's the one I can't do.
Send me. Okay, gotcha. We were talking about this earlier. See if this will pop up for us. There we go. Guys, go to mybookie.ag. Went away on me again. And again, that's mybookie.ag. .com.ag because you can't do it in America. And use promo code USM100, and us here, all six of us, will take it out of our own pockets and double your first deposit. So if you got $50 up to $1,000, we will double your first deposit as long as you go to mybookie.ag and use promo code USM100. And actually, just right before we came on the air, we had our bets unwrapped doing a lot of stuff that they were talking about live show. One game that I actually was talking to him while I was at work, we won't talk about that part, was the Texans game. I on David Johnson, who's taken a big step back in his running back skills, but he is a big time, and I think they'll be playing from behind quite a bit this upcoming game. And I think he actually will do over his bet. His was reception yardage was like 13. All he had to be. He can do that in one pass.
All right. The next promo I'm gonna get into.
He left.
He left. He'll be back. The next promo I'll get into is rxhemp.com. Use a promo code rxhemp/USN and get 10% off your entire order. Warm and cool CBD cream. My mom's gonna pack it up and send it to me to Philadelphia because you guys know I just recently moved. So I need some of that CBD cream for after the times I play basketball, because when you're in your 30s, you don't bounce back like you do when you're in your 20s. It's made with all natural products, and we have celebrity believers. Man, so check out rxhemp.com. Use a promo code rxhemp/USN to get 10% off your entire order. All right. Whew. You guys ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
Get it.
Ma'am.
Okay, when Nick comes back, he comes back. All right, who wants to go first? We're going to do our top. There he is. There's Nick. Come on, Nick. Come on back, Nick. All right. So, top 10 small forwards for this upcoming season. Now, disclaimer before you guys do your list. If a guy's injured and you want to put him in your top 10, I don't have a problem with it. Whatever you guys' top 10 is, whether it's in order, not in order, let us know. If it's in order, let us know. If it's not in order, just be random. But everybody's list is probably going to be different because our lists were different when we did point guards and shooting guards. Nick's going to do his shooting guards, but you guys can do your small forwards. So who wants to go first? Who's the lucky winner?
So do we want to do shooting guards first or just go straight to small forwards?
Well, Nick,
Let's go ahead and hear your shooting guards, Nick.
Okay, let's see your shooting guards, Nick, and then the rest of you can do your shooting guards if you guys can do it off the top of your head.
All right. So I spent 12 hours today trying to pick 10 guys shooting guards list, but I think I got it. All right, here we go. Number one, you got to go with a guy that, coming off of a finals appearance, even though he lost, got Devin Booker.
Ooh, okay.
Number
Did you
two.
say number one?
Okay.
Number one in looks or in shooting guard? Just
Michael, don't get started.
There we go.
I mean,
Don't get
What-
started,
just
Michael.
saying.
Already, I love it.
We'll do all of it. And by the way, this is no order. This is no
There we
order. So please don't come kill me. Please don't.
I
All
looked
right, so I got. So number two, I got Donovan Mitchell. I think what he's doing in Utah is just pretty phenomenal, especially with not really a number two option right alongside him. So definitely would give him that. Another guy I got is Zach LaVine. I love what he's doing in Chicago. I think he's going to have a really good year playing alongside Lonzo Ball this year, and we're going to see Chicago become a playoff team. Number four, I was kind of hesitant to put this guy in there, but I went on here and put him in there anyway. Drew Holiday, just his way to play on both ends of the floor. I really love him. I think he probably had the biggest play in the finals, getting that steal against Devin Booker in Game 5. So he's definitely up there. Number five, Bradley Beal, from the Washington Wizards, one of the most elite scorers in the NBA. This one's going to be surprising to everybody, but I got Dylan Brooks on there from the Memphis Grizzlies. A lot of people are definitely
Quack. We know.
There we
went to
go.
Oregon.
There we go. And then number seven, I can't remember if I put him on my point guard list, but I have James Harden on there just because he's listed as a 2 guard. So I put him on there. Number 8, I got CJ McCollum, from Portland. I'm really, really big fan of him. Number 9, this guy has been gone for the last 2 years, but he's still one of my personal favorites, Klay Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And number 10, a guy that many believe that if he was healthy, his team would have probably gotten to the conference final, Jamal Murray.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to do their shooting guards before we get into the small forwards?
I'll go ahead and drop mine.
All
First
right.
off, I want to shout out Nick. Thank you for the Dylan Brooks love. I'm glad I had a tweet every single game last year in the playoffs that said Dylan Brooks appreciation tweet. I think I got it to like 7 games in a row. But anyways, again, no order. I'm going to start off a little biased. Duncan Robinson. I think he's one of the most elite shooters in the NBA. Miami, if he plays the way he should have in the regular season, in the finals, maybe Jimmy Butler has a ring. I got Bogdan. I got Bogey from Atlanta.
Wow.
I I'm a big fan.
I had him in mind, so with Nick saying wow at you, I had him in mind too.
I had him in mind.
It's crazy. I didn't even think about him at all. I can't believe me. I can't believe myself.
See,
Okay, I'm glad I got a good pick then. I think I'm excited. I don't know if he's a top 10, but I'm excited to watch Jalen Green play. Very excited to watch Jalen Green.
Okay, Ricky
Houston,
getting some love.
Oh, absolutely. Houston, they're gonna have a struggle of a season. I think he's gonna get a lot of shine. He's gonna get a lot.
So you're
of
telling
touches.
me I could have added rookies in here?
It's your list, Nick.
Oh my god, it would have made it a lot easier.
He's definitely going to have the opportunity to go off though on Rockets. Like he's going to have a lot of opportunities to shine.
Especially since John Wall is not going to be with the team more than likely. So
see, there we go. And then I got
it for you.
Oh, Alex, we love you, Alex. Yeah, I could probably do top 10 players I've ever played against, professional athletes I probably played against. But go ahead, Brandon. This is your time, Brandon.
No, you know what? Like we'll get into that real soon.
But she's got a link tree of that as well.
Don't embarrass me, guys. Go ahead, Brandon.
I got Klay Thompson. I miss watching that guy hoop, catching the ball, one dribble, pull up cash, Mr. 63 and 3 dribbles or something like that. I do have, like Nick, Zach LaVine. Excited to see what he does on the Bulls this year. Hopefully they get into the playoffs. Obviously, Bradley Beal. I mean, some of these are self-explanatory. Bradley Beal, Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker. And I wasn't sure where to put Jaylen Brown. Is he a small forward or shooting guard? But he rounds mine out. And he might make another appearance tonight.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go next? Either Jimmy. I think Jimmy's frozen.
I'm looking. I'm studying. I didn't prepare. I'm sorry. I've got a lot of things going on right now.
Are you okay?
Don't worry, Jimmy. I thought we were doing small forward today. I was not ready for small forward.
We're just backing up, Coach.
We're backing up.
I'm
gonna do some research.
As much as Michael's gonna dog me for it, like I really like Gilgeous-Alexander.
There we go.
There we go. Give Shai some love. Give Shai some love.
I mean, I'm a casual fan, but I really like him. I think he's going to have a really good year. Of course, Donovan Mitchell.
It's Kentucky. I know that.
See, I mean, I didn't set up a top 10, and I'm sorry. I apologize.
You good?
But there's a few names here: Zach LaVine, Jaylen Brown, Paul George, guys I'm looking at.
Okay.
Again, Devin Booker, another UK alum. But I mean, the NBA is just so stacked with UK players. I mean, it's hard not to deny all of them. So, but short list, that's probably my top 4 or 5, I think. So,
okay. Don't worry, we're gonna get to small forwards. We're gonna give you guys a chance to talk about what you guys missed. So, go ahead, Robert. What are yours?
All right. So just off a couple minutes of research, I don't think I've heard this name yet, but we got to show love to Paul George because he did have a good bounce back season this year. Made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. So even though he did have that horrible year in the bubble, he was getting a lot of crap. I know that. So
do we list him as a 2 or a 3?
I think as of next season, he's going to be a 3 because Kawhi is not going to be playing. But when he was on the Clippers, was he playing at the 2?
It's tough.
I would say they're both.
Yeah, depends on the lineup.
Spoiler alert: he's going to list for small forwards.
Yes, I definitely have him on my list for small forwards. So we're going to go with Paul George. Definitely Donovan Mitchell. Zach LaVine, I think, is going to have a big year. I don't think a lot of people are recognizing Zach LaVine because he hasn't done so well record-wise for it. So I think he's really going to blow up this year and get some recognition. Bradley Beal is always going to go off. He's going to be an automatic scorer. James Harden is going to control the offense in Brooklyn. Devin Booker, walking bucket. But for people that have been injured, I am looking forward to seeing Karis LeVert because he's been bounced around for a little while and he can ball. He can actually ball. So I'm excited to see what he looks like healthy and ready to go. So those are just some of my names off a couple minutes of researching.
Okay. We didn't even throw you guys under the fire there, but we wanted.
I'm ready.
we
I'm ready.
we wanted you guys to get your list out. Now, Michael and I did our list. If you didn't hear it, I don't remember mine. Michael, do you remember yours? You had yours written down, didn't you?
I don't think I did. Let me
Okay.
back
Michael
up.
has a notebook when we make a hot take or something like that. He has a notebook in the date, so he writes it down because I made a huge hot take about the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, she has
I mean, look, I
Cleveland
love
in the
every-
playoffs.
I have
You
to
got-
play in the play in.
I mean, you're trying to back that up a little bit now. Oh, just to play in. Just
It's
a
a
quick,
play
so you
in.
guys hear this list. She's got Cavs in the play in now.
Yeah, it's a 10 seed.
I said-
Why not?
I said the
You should
Nuggets
see
will
what
have a better.
ESPN. Go ahead.
I said Nuggets will have a better record than the Jazz this year. Let's see here. Brandon said number 1 seed will actually be Denver. Amber thinks the Lakers will be number 1. I still went with the Suns. And then Nick, he finally joined us with one saying that the Hawks will be the 3 seed in the East.
Okay.
Whoa.
Those are hot takes. Like we have hot takes. So if you have a hot take,
I like
Michael
that.
writes it down and he writes the date and boom, we discuss it. So if Cleveland just
Yeah.
happens not to make the play in, I'm going to get drugged through the fire for it, but that's okay because it's a hot take. That's
No,
what's on that paper.
Honestly, I think your hot take is so hot that if it doesn't happen, we're gonna be like, I mean, really, it's okay. It's no big deal. None
But
of
if
us
it does
believe it
happen,
anyway.
but if it does,
Then you're gonna be honest.
I know. You might as well just crown me now because if it does happen,
Queen Simple.
Twitter would be in shambles. Twitter would be in shambles.
So my question is, are they keeping Colin Sexton? I know that was a rumor in the summer and everything, but
It
they
looks
got so many bigs. Like,
Yeah,
what is there going to be their lineup? Like,
their starting 5 to me will be Sexton, Allen, Mobley, Okoro, shooting guard. I can never think of his name. Shooting guard,
Garland.
shooting guard, Michael
Garland?
Darius Garland. And yeah, that's their 5. In my opinion, that should be their starting 5.
When they get Ben Simmons, what will it be?
Oh yeah,
I say do it.
Yeah, he'll
Trade
be
the
on the
big
bench.
man.
the contracts have to work for them to. How much Ben making? $30 million a year, almost. Rich Paul's
Free
agent,
throws,
so
maybe
it's
1 out of 20.
Ben Simmons is making too much. Let's just say that.
okay. He's a clutch client, so he's getting paid. I think Cleveland could make it work, but Cleveland would have to give up. They want an all-star player in return. Like, remember, they want that kind of James Harden deal where they had James Harden in the palm of their hands, 76ers, and Daryl Morey was like, nah, I'm okay. But they have to have another all-star player in return. So I don't know if they could offer that. They would probably have to lose. They just signed Jared Allen to that deal, so he's not going anywhere. Philly would want, can Colin Sexton and Embiid work? You think? The contracts don't match, but could they work? In your
I think
guys'
anybody will work better than Ben Simmons.
Offensively.
Offensively, yes.
Defensively,
Oh, I think absolutely.
they might take a step back.
Colin Sexton is a dog on defense. Like you see that guy like get into his stance, hands
Yes.
out.
That one video.
Yeah. That
But
dude-
he can't
he's a
guard
dog.
multiple positions like Ben Simmons can. So
Yes.
you're going to lose something. Like if CJ goes, which I don't think CJ's going anywhere now, but if Portland decide to trade CJ, you get more on offense, but you lose that defense. But they have the wings on defense for the 76ers to make up for it.
They do.
So we'll see. All right, small forwards. Who wants to go first?
Not me.
I'm not going first.
I'll go
Okay,
first.
okay, guys. I'm gonna give you before you go, Robert. I'm gonna give you hoophype.com's top 10. Okay, and they're in order.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
Got
we know
14
my
right
top
now,
2
so
small
like-
forwards. We already know my top 2. My top 2 small forwards are Kevin Durant and LeBron James. But I'm gonna start at number 10. Michael Porter Jr., Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, Chris Middleton, Jimmy Butler, Paul George, Jason Tatum, LeBron James, Luka ahead of LeBron. Okay,
Oh, snap.
Luka and Kevin Durant. That's hoophype.com's top 10 small forwards.
You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I like that they have Luka ahead of LeBron, and
I know you do. You love it. You just
Shocker.
love it.
Yeah,
Shocker.
yeah.
You love it. We know you don't. Guys, new guys. Michael does not care for LeBron James. Okay, let's get that out the way.
I mean, I'm not a fan, but like you can't deny the guy. Like everything he's done, like you can't deny him. He's not MJ, and I'm not gonna start that argument. But like,
we already had it.
like he's you can't deny him. Like the man's won multiple championships at multiple teams. So like I don't really know how anybody can really like. He's good. Kid's good.
Kid's good.
Kid's good.
Kid's good.
Better than us, but kid's good.
All right, Robert, what you got?
All right, so I am the same with you, Amber. I got Kevin Durant and LeBron James for my 1 and 2. I think that's very clear. That was easy. I got Kevin Durant at 1, and usually I would put LeBron because I am a Lakers fan, and Jimmy, I kind of agree with you, Jimmy. I did not used to like LeBron, but he came to LA, so now I have to show him a lot of love. But I'm with you. The numbers were there, so you always have to respect it, So I got Kevin Durant at number 1, LeBron James at number 2, and a name that I didn't hear in that list, but I'm not sure. I think he's listed as a small forward, but for my third one, I got Chris Middleton.
He's on there.
Oh, he's on there? Okay.
He's on there at 7.
He's on.
See, I find that very disrespectful almost in a way. Like Chris Middleton balled out in the playoffs. I mean, I'll give it like that he was somewhat inconsistent at times, but the man is a two-way player, can play defense, can get buckets. He was like going out for 30, 40s, and he's clutch. He had so many clutch moments. So for him to be listed as number 7.
But look who's ahead of him, though. You got Jimmy Butler, Paul George, and Jason Tatum ahead of him. So who do you take off of that?
So here we go. So my number 4 is actually Jimmy Butler. So okay. I can see that. But Jason Tatum ahead of Chris Middleton, offensively, maybe Tatum's better, but I got to get the defense side to Chris Middleton. So I got number 4, Jimmy Butler.
I don't know about that one. I don't know.
At number 5, I got Jason Tatum.
Okay.
So they are Chris Middleton, Jimmy Butler, and Jason Tatum. They're all super close, But I just had to go 3, 4, and 5. Chris Middleton, Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum. And so at number 6, as the name I said before, because I think he might drop down to a small forward this year since Kawhi is gone, I'm going to go Paul George. He is the glue to that team. I think he's doing a little bit better now that Kawhi possibly isn't there, and he's kind of feeling more comfortable with the team. So I put him at number 6. Number 7, I got DeMar DeRozan. He's been kind of like one of those guys like Zach LaVine where he's just, he's a great player, but we haven't heard much of him because the teams aren't doing that good. So I got him at number 7. We got Brandon Ingram at number 8, Michael Porter Jr. at number 9, and then 10, I got Jeremy Grant. Because that guy is super long. He is he's a long player. He is solid on the offensive glass. He's solid at getting some buckets. The shot, I don't know, but he's just a well-rounded player. And when he was playing on the Nuggets versus LeBron and the Lakers, he was a very solid player for that team. So that is my top 10.
Okay.
I should have went first because I wanted to shock everybody with the Jeremy Grant one.
I had him too. I have him too.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go next?
Oh my God.
What rookie is next?
I'll go.
Okay, Nick's gonna go. All right.
Rookie host.
All right. So since everybody the basic LeBron and KD top 2, I'm gonna name my I'm just going to name mine from start to finish. Number 1 is LeBron. Number 2 is KD.
Okay.
Number 3.
It's okay, Michael.
It's weird because now that we mention it, it's weird. Like number 3, I picked Kawhi, but now that I don't know if he's gonna be here or not, so I might switch him and put Michael Porter Jr. in there.
At 3, or you're just naming it?
At 3.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh, Nick.
The internet did not accept that answer. They said no. There's no.
Oh,
okay,
Nick.
You're out.
We can't put that at number 3. No, Michael Porter Jr.
No. Deleted.
Oh, I don't know if it's in order though. I think he's just going down.
I don't either.
I think LeBron and KD in order. Well, Yeah,
Yeah.
LeBron and KD, but I think he's just going down the list.
I would put Kawhi in there too, but I didn't put injured players because I think he's going to be out all year. So I did not add Kawhi, but Kawhi would definitely be number 3 for me if he was in there.
I didn't put Klay Thompson in the shooting guards for the same reason. You want to go ahead and start your 10, and maybe we can jump back on with Nick when he gets in.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me get this top 10. I'm right there, basic. 1, 2, LeBron, KD. I have LeBron 1, Kevin Durant 2. So my third is, I don't know if he's a small forward or power forward. I do have Giannis. If we say he's a power forward, I can take him out and switch him.
Okay.
You can say he's anything.
Yeah.
Okay. And then after that, I have Jimmy Butler. I mean, the way he's able to lead his team. He didn't have a great year last year, but COVID year, he had COVID. He was in the bubble a lot longer than a lot of other people. I give him a pass. He'll be back this year. Miami's going to go back to the finals. After him, I have Jason Tatum. I think he's going to take another step forward. He's already an elite scorer. Footwork is top 2 in the league, if not 1. I do have Paul George right after Jason Tatum. We saw what he's able to do without Kawhi Leonard, and I think he's going to be able to have more freedom this year without Kawhi and flourish even more. I do have Chris Middleton after that. If him and Giannis can be interchangeable in this list, obviously not position or spot wise. Then I have Brandon Ingram. This is the year I'm going on a limb. He's an MVP candidate.
Wow.
I guess that's my hot take.
Okay, write that down, Michael. Write that down. Oh yeah.
I didn't say he's gonna win it. Let me.
You said candidate.
You said
Candidate.
top 3 to 5 at the end of the year.
Okay.
And then I have Jaylen Brown again. I don't know. Him and Tatum can be interchangeable position wise. So let me give you 2 more since we'll take out whoever the opposite of Giannis and Jaylen Brown are. I have Jeremy Grant and Michael Porter Jr.
Okay.
All of my top 10.
All right.
Solid.
That's solid. Nick, you want to finish yours?
Yeah, I'm on my phone now, so hopefully it don't cut out. So, golly, I had LeBron, I had KD, I switched out Kawhi and put Michael Porter Jr. Who else I had? Paul George, Chris Middleton, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Golly, I think I'm missing a few. I said Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum.
You got Paul George on there somewhere?
Oh yeah, Paul George definitely.
Okay.
Jeremy Grant.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm gonna throw a name in there. Scotty Barnes.
Ooh, okay. We're taking a rookie. All right.
We got some high hopes on the rookies this year.
Yeah, we do. We do. All right. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'll go. Like I said, top of the list, I mean, I can't deny LeBron James. I mean, not a hugest fan of LeBron, but, I mean, the dude just produces. I mean, he produces wins, produces points, everything. The only thing he doesn't produce is defense. But other than that, like, the dude's solid. Like, I mean, you can't go wrong with him. And then you got Luka. Number 2, I'd probably say Luka. 3, I'd probably go Jason Tatum. Then 4, maybe. Sorry, I didn't do it. I didn't do as much homework as I should have. But yeah, 4, I'd probably go Brandon Ingram. 5, KD. I would put KD in the top 5 for sure. But he just doesn't really impress me enough to put him any further. His numbers show it, but I don't know.
You guys have a good night.
Did you see the playoff series against Milwaukee?
But the guy's a size shoe smaller from going to the finals
by himself.
Yeah, like I said,
it's his list. It's his list.
It's an interesting list.
like leaves me some questions. Like I don't. When I see KD on the court, he seems like an old, worn out man.
Achilles tear took like 3 years off him.
But rounding up the other 5, we could go Gordon Hayward,
Wow.
Mar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler, McCall Bridges. I really like him.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Got 2 more. Chris Middleton and who am I missing? Kawhi. I should put Kawhi higher. But yeah, Kawhi's in there too.
Okay.
So I have a question for all y'all. Did Chris Middleton not do enough to like be up there with like Jimmy?
I'm gonna break it
like,
down for you, Robert.
Last I remember, Chris Middleton swept the Heat with Giannis. Like last I remember, then Jimmy was on that team. So
yeah,
is that not enough respect?
Basketball people
Don't
in
like
the chat
Chris
absolutely hates Chris Middleton. Like they refer to him as top 40. Shout out Corey, wherever you're at. But you know, he's a baller. He is. You have to see what he does. But you know what? Again, it's his list. It's their list. So I understand. I like Chris Middleton. I just don't think he's
Middleton's on my list too.
Like I said,
Yeah,
too, I usually do more homework, and I'm kind of rushed right now. I had a lot of things going on today, so I'm sorry, but like, yeah.
You know
That's
what?
my
No,
breed.
you your list with confidence. You love it, and it's these
Yeah, it's your
haters
list.
don't like your list. It's fine because my list is.
It is what it is.
I'm about to bring it to you. At
Okay.
number 10, even though I hadn't decided who number 10 was, I'm going to go with Wiggins. I think he's going to be a good one this year. At number 9, I got DeRozan. And then 8, I got Brandon Ingram. 7, I got Michael Porter, who I absolutely love. I think he's slowly coming to his breakout. He still is growing. 6, have Tatum. 5, I've got Chris Middleton. 4, I have Jimmy Butler because he's my guy, represent Miami. 3, Paul George. 2, Luka. And number 1, because he looks so young when he's out on the court, Kevin freaking Durant.
Mic
That's a
drop.
Kevin Durant word.
All right.
So,
Mic
so
drop.
what is your reason behind putting Wiggins in there? Because that's an interesting.
You know what?
Mhm.
Because I wanted to be different when like everyone else is throwing one random name in there. Like I was gonna say Bogdanovich actually, but then I was like, you know what, let's go with Wiggins because I think Wiggins is gonna have a better year this year.
Okay.
He
I
might
tell
have
you
more
why I know
opportunities
this.
to play us there.
You know
So
why
I
I
have a
think he's going
question.
to? No, I just think he is going to.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
This is mainly for Michael. You put Andrew Wiggins there to be different. I get that. Do you
Uh-huh.
think Andrew Wiggins is better than Tobias Harris?
Ooh, I didn't think about Tobias Harris. No, number 10 is now Tobias Harris. Even though
we have a flip.
even
You
though
got him
he
to
went to
flip,
Tennessee.
Brandon. You got
Hey,
him to flip,
question.
Brandon. You got him to flip.
Just
Good
Michael-
job, Brandon.
Michael, I actually supported that because let's just theoretically say Clay comes back somewhat healthy, right? A lot of the attention will be drawn to Steph Curry and Clay. So, therefore, I feel like Wiggins could get a lot of open buckets.
Forget it. I'm going with a two-way tie at 10. Wiggins and Harris.
Okay. Nothing wrong with
Because
a little
Wiggins-
honorable mention.
Wigginson's going to have to be the
But
guy
is
too
Steve
for a
Kerr
while
going
because
with Wiggins at that 3 man?
I don't know. When you all are proven wrong about how well Wiggins plays this year, I'm just like, give me that
I
credit,
didn't-
Amber.
I wasn't trying to get you to flip. I was just asking a question. I was just trying to stir the pot a little bit.
No, actually, I did not think about Tobias Harris, and I actually like him very well. Unpaid for those years, even with Butler there. I'm sorry, guys.
Whose sound is that?
Yeah.
Okay, Jimmy. Oh, he muted himself. Okay. I think
Yeah.
he's walking.
Jimmy, you got some connection errors there. I feel bad that I muted you, but it sounds better now. So, Amber, let's hear
Okay.
yours.
Okay, here we go. My top 10 list. Of course, I'm not going to do them in order, but my order would be Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Somebody said Oubre over Wiggins. I was going to ask that too.
Ooh, I didn't think about Oubre. See, that's the thing. When you make your
In
list,
Charlotte, he's
you're
gonna
like,
have
okay.
in Charlotte, he's gonna have a great year in Charlotte. I
You
think he'll
can't
have a great
name
year.
all of them.
Yeah, it's hard. I told you guys, like when somebody else puts somebody else on the list, you're like, dang, I didn't think of that. But my top two for sure are Kevin Durant, LeBron James. Boom. I had Luka.
Oh,
on
let me
my
back up. Let me back up.
Go
The
ahead.
reason LeBron, again, just throwing that back out there, the reason he was not on my list is because I actually put him in as a point guard because
Point guard.
he's
Yeah,
point four.
point
Just
guard.
not that bad of a hater.
Okay. Yeah, he's not. Michael's not that bad. I put Russell on my point guard list, and he put LeBron on his. So we were kind of battling with that. Who's going to handle the ball more for the Lakers? But after that, the list is going to be all over the place. Okay. So after that, it's no longer in order. I'm sorry. I'm going to put Kelly Oubre as my honorable mention. Because I really think he's going to break out with Charlotte. That's a young team. I think he's going to get his legs back. I think his wrist is better. His hand is better. I think he's going to be pretty good this year. So he will be on my honorable mention list. Uh-oh. Thought I added him. I'm probably going to have to mute him until he gets his sound. Yeah, I'm going to have to do that until he gets his sound together. All right. Jason Tatum's on my list. Now, here's the thing with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I don't know how to do that because, like Robert said, they're so interchangeable. And I love Jaylen Brown. Loved him at Cal. He's taken so many great leaps and bounds. And Michael, don't you do it. And I just love his game, but I don't know how to put him on the list. So for this list, I'm going to put Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum together. I'm just going to.
Oh, they're
just going to be
2 1 person.
They're 2 1 person. I'm just going to put them together because they interchange in that position.
And which is why Boston can't be good because it's the same player.
Well, I think Jaylen Brown's better on defense than Jason Tatum. Yeah, I think Jaylen Brown's better on defense.
I wouldn't say that, Michael. I wouldn't say they're the same.
They're not the same.
I mean,
Jaylen Brown is more of a defender than Jason Tatum.
Right, but they're both the three, though.
Tatum is that's much better score in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Tatum's scoring is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But Jaylen Brown, I think, understands his role with Boston. I think that's very, very, very important. So I like that. I'm going to put DeMar DeRozan on this list because I think DeMar DeRozan was on the cusp of being an all-star with San Antonio. He was pushing, like Pop pushed him to a different level, I think. I think Pop really brought something out of him. Now with Chicago, he's with some younger players. So will that bring something else out of him? Will he take what he learned with San Antonio and bring that to Chicago? That would be great to see. I would love to see that. Here's where it gets dicey, guys. And this is probably me showing OKC a lot of love, right? I have Jeremy Grant because Jeremy Grant, to me, I think in Detroit, it's going to be a little battle, okay? Whose team is it? Is it Jeremy Grant's team or is it Cade Cunningham? I'm number one overall pick. Whose team is it going to be? Jeremy Grant has that experience. He's very quiet. He was quiet in OKC. He broke out against Denver. I still want to know what LeBron said to him after that series. They cut the tape off when they were. I want to know what he said because I think if the Lakers could have afforded it, they would have got Jeremy Grant. I think they would have been great. But
are you saying
he won a bigger role? Huh?
Are you saying that there was tampering going on in the NBA?
Oh,
no.
Of course.
What?
Of course.
How dare you?
I mean, the Bulls just dealt with it. I mean, but that's neither here nor there. But I got Jeremy Grant on my list. I said Brandon Ingram, correct? I got Brandon Ingram. I don't know why I don't want to put Michael Porter Jr. on my list because I don't like him. Your three has to play defense, and he plays not one lick of defense. It grinds.
Wait, so
my
you put
gears.
Ingram before Porter Jr.?
She's not doing order.
I'm not doing order. Oh, darn it, Nick. I'm not doing order, but he doesn't play. Ingram tries on defense. It just seems like Michael Porter Jr. just doesn't care on defense. And as my three, you got to care just a little bit. right? Am I right? Like the 3 is the most important position, I think. One of the most important positions on the defensive end.
Well,
I mean,
he is young. You know, he's what in his like third year now, going in third year, right? Like
the whole different team doesn't play defense. We need one person to play defense.
yeah, Jeremy Grant. Jeremy Grant was that person.
Yeah, exactly. And when they lost him, they became a different team, in my opinion. So
yeah.
I want to put him on my list, but I might just kind of put him in the box and kind of save him for later. Chris Middleton. Now, I have my reservations about Chris Middleton because it's inconsistencies in the regular season. We can all agree there. But what he did in the finals, and he's a 50, 40, 90 type of guy, but what he did in the finals was very telling of what I think he can take that next step and become more consistent this season. So I do have Chris Middleton on my list, right? I have him on my list.
Good.
Paul George is on my list. Yes. Playoff P is on my list. Guys, don't take me through the ringer, but I love Paul George. And I'm not putting Kawhi on here because I don't think he's going to play this season.
I didn't put him on either.
I can't put him on, but we know Kawhi would be top 3 if he was able to go. So that's Paul George. I think that might be 10. Probably Jimmy Butler will probably round out my 10. I probably put Jimmy on there because they go, Miami Heat go as Jimmy Butler goes. I know people probably, no, they don't. Yes, they do. They're a completely different team when Jimmy Butler's not on the floor. So I'll probably have Jimmy Butler to round off my top 10. Honorable mentions would be Michael Porter Jr. His defense just bothers me. And then Kelly Oubre. So that's my 10. Yeah. All right, guys. Now, what do you
so much?
Who would be on your honorable mention list?
Ooh.
If you had a couple of people just to put on there as honorable mentions, who would you put on there?
I had 11 and 12. Mikal Bridges from the Suns. He's still young. I thought he played great. Could hit the open shots. I think with Chris Paul, he could take big moves. And then at number 12, I got Tim Hardaway Jr. He is kind of inconsistent, you know, but when he was on fire against the Clippers, it was insane, you know. So they're both young, kind of. So with years of experience, you know, you get better, hopefully. So those are my honorable mentions, 11 and 12.
Anybody else got some honorable mentions they want to mention?
I had Gordon Hayward and Tobias Harris.
Okay.
As my honorable mention. I wasn't too sure what Gordon Hayward was. Is he a 2, 3? So I kind of left him right on that cusp. So, but I got him and Tobias Harris.
I like Tobias. Go
He's
Vols.
a friend. He's right there to me.
Yeah. It's just that when they need him to step up at times in Philly, he just doesn't quite give it. You know what I mean? Like Joel Embiid to have 40 and 20 and Tobias Harris to go 1 for 12. It's like, dude. But
keep in mind, that man got paid.
Yeah, he did. He got paid too.
That man got paid.
Jimmy Butler. They chose him over Jimmy Butler. It's the greatest decision Philly has ever made for my Miami Heat. Thank you.
Do you think Jimmy wanted to? I don't think Jimmy wanted to be there though. So I don't know if they chose him. Well, I think it was like the only option they had because last I recall, I didn't know if Jimmy liked the work ethic there. I don't know if that was Minnesota or if it was Philly.
It was Minnesota.
I think
it was definitely Minnesota.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Minnesota. Yeah. But Seth Curry, I thought, had a better playoff series than Tobias. I thought Seth Curry played very well for the 76ers in that series against Atlanta that they lost. What do you
think about Norman Powell? Because I thought a little bit, but I'm like, well.
Because he's a 3 with Portland.
Mm-hmm.
With Toronto, he was kind of like that 2-3 kind of with Toronto, depending on the lineup they had on the floor. If they had Lowry and Fred VanVleet on the floor, he played that 3. And OG Anunoby could play that 3 as well. What do you think? I mean, it's your list. It's your honorable mention list. You think he?
Well, I mean, I think it should at least be mentioned. So since it's honorable mention, and even Kyle Anderson, anybody even mention him?
Slow-mo.
I mean,
as UCLA is playing right now too.
Yeah. Slow mo. Okay. Anybody else got any honorable mentions?
I would go Gordon Hayward. Even though he's been like kind of shuffled around just because of the popularity of LaMelo Ball and Terry Rozier, like I think the guy's solid. I would probably put him in there.
That man is also paid.
Yeah.
I think he's like one of the most all-time grossing NBA players, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think he's really underrated. I think that he's a really solid player. And like I said, he's just got so much talent around him right now that it's hard to really notice how good he is.
Anybody else? Is there anybody that you think is a true small forward in NBA anymore? Or do you think it's just gone to hell in a handbasket with positionless basketball?
It's all position.
It's positional.
Okay. Because you got Ben Simmons, who's a point guard that is not aggressive, but he does everything that a point guard does, but he's quite tall and long and can guard probably 1 through 5. And then you have, let's say, a Paul George. Is he a 2 or a 3? You know what I mean? It just really depends on how you look at it. You still have Tatum and Brown. That's why I had to kind of put them and combust them together. Thank you, Perry. We appreciate it. Had to combust them together because you don't really know which is which. You just don't quite know. It's depending on the lineups they put on the floor. When we did point guards, guys, we were trying to figure out LeBron or Russ on the point guard list because who will handle the ball the most for the Lakers this season? Same with the Nets. We already know who their point guard is. Their point guard is James Harden. Kyrie says we work better with Harden as our point guard. So Harden's on our point guard list, and then Kyrie was on my shooting guard list. Or did I have them both on the point guard list?
Yeah,
I think you did both.
Both? Okay.
I would have LeBron a lot lower on the point guard list just because I've never felt like he should be a point guard. He should be on the wing somewhere or maybe even down low from time to time. I don't feel like he's the ball handler.
Okay. On this team with Russ or just period?
Just in general, I don't feel like he's the best ball handler for almost any situation. Like
I will say he's
the guy that you want to get points, not the guy that you want to get assists.
I don't know that my favorite play was when he faked that pass out to the 3-point line and then just right next to the big man.
Yep.
That was phenomenal.
Oh, that was when he was on Cleveland against the Lakers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was against the Lakers too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was dirty.
Yeah, I just think with the way that basketball is set up these days, with it being so positionless, it's just so hard to tell. I don't mind point LeBron because he sees the floor. He has a high basketball IQ. He sees the floor very well. He just doesn't shoot free throw. He doesn't shoot the free throw percentage of a point guard.
No, not at all.
But in late game situations, Russ will probably have the ball in his hand so he can create, and he shoots better free throw percentage than LeBron, if I'm thinking correctly. And the Lakers, Frank Vogel's going to have to figure that out because that closing lineup for the Lakers is going to be
Who would you rather have shooting a 3, Russ or LeBron?
I'd rather have Carmelo Anthony shooting the late game 3 for the Lakers, honestly.
Because I'm just thinking out loud and trying to think strategically.
Yeah.
Like in a
I'm
game.
I'm telling you right now, Carmelo Anthony will be on the floor to close for the Lakers. If he's not, then Frank Vogel will lose his job because he's probably the best free throw shooter outside of Anthony Davis in that little group of lineup. Because Dwight Howard can't be on the floor with Anthony Davis. That just does not work, in my opinion.
To answer that question,
LeBron's got the ball.
I'm going to say LeBron, Michael, because in the beginning of the season, LeBron's 3-point percentage was actually really, really good. And over time, with more minutes and more injuries, it kind of went downhill. But in the beginning, like month or two, I think it was like close to 40%, but it dropped down to, I think, like 35 or 36 again. So in the beginning, he did good, but I think this season, LeBron is going to, obviously we all know his age is a number and it's, he's getting older, but I think and I agree with you, Amber, I think it's going to come down to the Frank Vogel rotation, which sometimes can be very struggling as a Lakers fan, but I think when they are on the court, LeBron is going to handle the ball, and then LeBron will go out early, and then Russ will manage with the second unit, possibly a little bit with AD. But at the end of the day, it's just all going to come down in rotation. And Frank Vogel, I hope he can get it right, because if you're a Lakers fan, then you understand that Frank Vogel's rotation can be very frustrating sometimes.
Because you got to find Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn minutes.
Yeah.
And they just signed Rondo.
So it's so ridiculous this year. It's not even funny. Like,
so stacked.
Like it's ridiculous. Like, where do you even start? Like,
but let's just hypothetically say if LeBron, Westbrook, and you're on the court, last 10 seconds go in the game, you're down by 2, and you're going to go. If you have LeBron with the ball in his hand, penetrating, Westbrook is going to be out somewhere at the 3-point line, just standing there. That defense is probably – well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they probably help off on that guy. He's not a threat. But if you have Westbrook with the ball penetrating in, you can't leave LeBron because he's actually a threat from the 3-point line. So, I mean, I think Westbrook probably, with the game on the line, would have the ball to try to create. But then you're almost saying that LeBron's just a role player.
Does it have to be a 3, though?
He's just saying.
I'm just saying if
it's a 3, then yeah.
If it's
because if you got Westbrook penetrating, you're down by 2. I mean, there's a chance he can score and then go in overtime or something to that effect. But I'm just thinking, if you're thinking like, okay, penetrate here, pick and roll, pop here, LeBron's there for a 3 or AD, because they even did that towards the end. AD was shooting the 3, but I don't know. I just think Westbrook's got to have the ball in his hands if he's on the floor, because I don't think he'd actually on the floor if they're down by 3, and LeBron would be the point. Monk would be in. So your better shooters there.
Yeah, Monk, Melo would be in because they're probably your best shooters.
And can Westbrook handle not being there in the crunch time of a game?
It is interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
It is interesting because you just paid THT a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
You have Malik Monk. You have Kendrick Nunn. You have all those people. You got Rondo as well.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, but as far as bigs, we'll keep that
DeAndre
separately.
Jordan.
But for those like guards, Rondo, Monk, Kendrick Nunn, THT, I'm very curious how you're going to separate those minutes between the individuals, because we've seen Rondo, and he's absolutely amazing when he's on the floor with LeBron and AD. But you just paid THT a lot more money. Like, you want to advance him. You got Kendrick Nunn, who you might want to keep. He's a good, solid guard. You got Malik Monk, who's a scorer. So as a Lakers fan, I'm super excited to see how it plays out, because I had no idea how it's going to play out.
I mean, if you have, in my opinion, like, if you have, like, the last shot is, if it's a 1-point game and you just need somebody to slam it home, LeBron's your guy. But, like, if you're needing somebody to shoot the ball, I would go Russ. That's just me. I think Russ is the better shooter.
But LeBron doesn't shoot better free throw percentage.
No, not at all.
And that's what's going to come in. If you get I'm a foul LeBron.
You definitely don't want LeBron.
Yeah, I'm going to foul LeBron.
You see him passing it to AD, like, in the finals and everything. Like, take the ball. Like, I don't want it. You see it.
But that's smart by him. That's high basketball IQ, right? I know I shoot in the 70s. We give it up.
Yeah, LeBron's just the most elite playmaker the game has ever seen. He knows to make the right play. His IQ is what sets him apart from everyone else, other than his godlike athleticism. But he's just always known to make the right play. I don't think he down by 2. We've seen him hit that turnaround jumper in the corner against Toronto, I think. Or no, was it Washington?
He hit one against Washington. He hit 3 against Washington.
Sure.
Yeah.
He hit one against Toronto too on the baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, the guy, when the game's on the line, LeBron is still. I want the ball in his hands because he's going to make the right play.
You got the play-in game. That 3 was absolutely huge. Yeah. I mean, against Orlando in 2009, he hit a game winner. So I think statistically, LeBron is actually the most clutch player within the last 30 seconds or something, which I never expected, because I always thought it was going to be Kobe. It is. I think it is. We can fact check.
It's Kobe, LeBron, Michael, Carmelo Anthony. Is Dirk in that list? I saw a list.
Yeah,
but since
I wouldn't actually say I've seen that video talking about him. I don't give him credit.
I think since Melo and LeBron have been in the league, I think it's been it was Melo for a while, then LeBron's hit some clutch shots. Of course, Melo was out the league for a little bit. Then LeBron hits some clutch shots. But I think they have two of the most clutch players in the league right now present in LeBron and Melo. So when you got that on your team, like that's a good problem to have, like, right? We know how clutch Melo came up for Portland in the bubble. And when CJ went out last year, I mean, Melo was basically Portland's number 2. And remember, this guy was out the league. And I don't like saying this because Jared Dudley is now a coach with the Dallas Mavericks, but Jared Dudley had a spot on the Lakers. But it's all about timing. And I think Portland was a great place for Melo, and I'm happy for him. I have to buy a Lakers shirt now. I have to buy 2 Lakers shirts now for Russ and Melo.
Oklahoma
It's
City
hard.
Legends.
I know.
I can't believe he was out of the league for so long. Like
I couldn't either.
I don't
couldn't.
know how no team would want that. I don't understand.
All they
You
saw
know-
was him shooting mid ranges and said, "You know what? I can't have that. We need to shoot threes only."
But look at him now. He's like a 40% like 3-point. He's just a solid player. Like he's shown time after time. Like maybe the NBA has transitioned to a new era and they thought maybe he couldn't play in it, but it's Carmelo Anthony. Like
Yeah. He was averaging 15 a night for Portland. So I just, for the life of me, I just don't understand it. But hey, I'm happy he's with the Lakers. He's with his brother LeBron. So we'll see what
Finally.
they do.
finally,
Yeah.
we see them finally together.
Man, finally. I really am eager to see what they do on their bench and how the rotations go. Now, Robert, since you're a Lakers fan, who should the starting 5 be? Who should start the most in that starting 5? Because I know the lineups have changed with different matchups. So who should the starting 5 be?
From reports, I
Okay.
believe it was from Rich Paul, he's saying that LeBron is moving down to the 4.
Okay.
And AD is going to the 5. So if I'm going to go off those
Finally.
reports, I think that's the best move. I honestly, like, they're too vulnerable on defense. You saw with Marc Gasol out there, like iceberg Gasol, like it was so frustrating. So we definitely have Russell Westbrook, LeBron, and Anthony Davis in there. So we got to figure out the 2 and the 3. I'm honestly going to go. You could. It's honestly a tough question. You could go more like defensive, and I think for the answer I'm going to go with, I'm just going to go with that Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach. So I think you might see possibly like Kent Bazemore in there. He's a pretty solid defensive player. Now I don't know if you're going to put him at the 2 or the 3. But I'm going to put him in there, and then I'm also going to put I might just go like Kendrick Nunn at the 2 because Kendrick Nunn is a scorer. He's not more of a point guard. So you got Russell Westbrook, Kendrick Nunn, Kent Bazemore, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Now, that was a really good question to put me on the spot, so I hope I didn't miss anyone, but it sounds like a solid lineup to me.
Okay.
3-point percentage is solid, too.
I mean, I'm pretty sure anyone on this team, as long as you got LeBron and AD in, it doesn't matter. It's a solid team.
Yeah.
Don't they have
Hot
Wayne
the rest of
Ellington
the
too?
game.
Yeah,
They
did they get Wayne
do.
Ellington? Yeah.
They do. You know what? He's a great 3-point shooter, but the reason why I didn't put him in is because Frank Vogel is a defensive-minded coach.
Mhm.
So I see him more of the second unit when LeBron's on the floor and Russell's on the floor. That's I personally
You also
would
have
love to
Malik
see.
Monk.
I would love
Yeah.
to see like Malik Monk and Wayne Ellington personally in a possibly a starting lineup, but just as in terms of Frank Vogel and his type of play, I'm gonna say Wayne Ellington's gonna be on the bench. But you never know. The team is so stacked. I never know.
Okay, Brandon, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
think-
Who's your starting 5 for the Miami Heat? My bad. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think they're going to actually, for the last 2 spots, just put names in a hat and just whoever draws. Okay, it's my turn.
My turn.
And they
Sorry.
start.
It's not a bad strategy. You can't go wrong with that. Starting
Solid.
5 for the Heat.
Mhm.
All right. So Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and
The
I
beast.
think Joe Morris. and
Okay.
you bring PJ off the bench. I think PJ and Morris can be interchangeable, but
Okay.
I think I like Morris. He seems more involved when he starts.
Okay. I agree. As an ex-Laker, as a Laker fan, Robert, do you agree?
So you had Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and Morris.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like not too familiar with like whatever other players are on the Miami Heat. I know you got Tyler Hero, but I think you possibly could be interchangeable with Duncan Robinson. Don't know, but I think the Heat are going to go small ball lineup and put Bam at that center, especially after seeing like some of the Olympics. I think you saw Bam running the 5 at one point. So I could agree with that. Definitely Lowry, Jimmy, and Bam are going to be on the floor. It's really just up to those other two positions, kind of like the Lakers, that you can interchange. You never know what it could be. You could put more shooters on the floor and go Tyler Hero, but I'd say that's pretty fair.
You can see Jimmy Butler at the 4 with Tyler Hero in.
Mm-hmm. I could.
He's strong. Jimmy's strong.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Lowry, Robinson, Butler, PJ, and then Bam at the 5 because my thing with Bam, he can guard. Honestly, he can guard 1 through 5 and do decent. That's how athletic he is. And then you got PJ who can actually play more of the perimeter. It's going to be like a 4 offense for PJ and then 5 on defense for him. And then Bam could be everywhere.
I'm forgetting we have Victor Oladipo too.
He's hurt.
I want to see that man do well. I want to see him do well.
I do too.
He's just been so injured, and he used to be so good. Just can't catch a break.
Now,
Dwayne Dedman and Oladipo coming off the bench with either Morris or PJ Tucker. I like that a lot.
And Hero
do
probably.
you think that you guys will miss Precious Achiuwa?
He was precious.
I think he's gonna break out for Toronto. I think he's gonna break out for Toronto.
I love Precious. I loved him at Memphis. He's an energy guy. He reminds me a lot of Montrezl Harrell.
Mm-hmm.
For what we got, you can't pass that up for Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry makes us a lot better. It's one of those. I wish we could have kept him, but you got to move on. We got better.
All right, Jimmy. Do you have your favorite team in the NBA? You got a starting 5 for them?
I actually don't have a favorite NBA team. I'm more of a college guy, but like, if we were talking, you were talking about the Heat, and if I were to pick a starting 5 for them, it would be pretty much chalk with Kyle Lowry at the point guard and Tyler Hero shooting guard, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo. I think it's pretty clear cut for me, at least, where that goes. But yeah, I don't have a favorite team. I like the Lakers-Celtics rivalry, but I don't really have a favorite
team. Okay.
It's hard to have a favorite NBA team when you live in Kentucky. I'm just going to say that out loud so everyone knows.
What do we have? Like, there's nothing close.
I think for the Heat, I think for the Heat, it just depends if they want to go defense or offense. That's that PJ Tucker. Like, that's always been that PJ Tucker move, because they can interchange Hero or they can go, for offense and they can go PJ for defense. And being in the East, I think when it comes down to playoff time, I think PJ is going to get more of those minutes because he's going to have to guard Kevin Durant. He's going to have to guard James Harden. He's going to have to guard Giannis. He's going to have to guard Chris Middleton. He's going to have to guard all those guys. So I think maybe Hero might get a little bit more minutes in season, but when it comes down to clutch playoff time, I think you might see PJ take a little bit more of those minutes.
So here's my only counter to that. The Miami Heat don't have a defensive lineup. If you're going to play defense, that's the Heat culture, Spoelstra, like they are built off defense. Like every single person that's on the floor is going to guard. And if you cannot, then you're not going to be on the floor. The only exception with that was Duncan Robinson 2 years ago. And that's why Miami went into a zone and strangled pretty much every other team because for some God only knows reason, nobody can figure out how to work a zone in the NBA.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's like that Hero and Duncan Robinson, like offense versus defense. They did go zone against the Lakers too in the finals. But that's kind of like what you have to give up. Like, what would you rather have, Brandon? Would you rather have, like, let's say, you have Morris, Bam, Jimmy, right? Are you gonna throw like Duncan Robinson in over like PJ Tucker in there, or like PJ Tucker over, like, go small and don't put Morris in there? Because Morris is kind of a stretch big, but he can't play defense that well. He's so
if we're going end of game situation, tight game, I want Kyle Lowry, Jimmy, Bam, PJ, and I don't hate Oladipo. I like Oladipo in there too.
I like that.
Okay. Now, Heat and Lakers fans, who will have the healthier season, the Lakers or the Heat?
Well, Anthony Street Clothes Davis plays for the Lakers, so
I gotta give him a break, y'all. Get him, man. He got married today.
He got married. I say, like, I'm not gonna say it. He got
congratulations. We know what he's doing right now.
Anthony Davis has been real silent this summer.
He's been doing that hamstrings. What he's doing?
He might be in the gym working.
He might be in the gym working. He might be.
I think the real question here is who's going to be more healthy, Brooklyn or LA? That might be, because that's what everyone's saying, right? Like, I'm not counting the Heat out. I think they have a good chance too. If it depends on injuries, it really does. That's what we saw last year, right? But if it comes down to it, I think the predicted odds are Lakers versus Nets.
Well, I asked the Heat question because we have Heat fans on here. So that's why I asked that question of the healthiest. But when it does come down to it, I think it will be Nets and Lakers.
Have the Heat players gotten injured besides in the finals when they played the Lakers? Like,
well, last season they were kind of like this because of
we weren't
COVID,
injured. Yeah, we were just sick.
Yeah, there you go. And that's a non-basketball injury related.
Yeah.
Oladipo is the only one that's injured.
But they had non-basketball related injuries, which
I do think he finished the second in the East.
Interesting.
I really do.
Ahead of Milwaukee? Okay.
I mean, can we go ahead? I mean, they've had their time. Can we just say that Milwaukee only won because of injuries? Can we say that?
Milwaukee swept the Heat.
Well, that was last year. I'm just saying, right now, the only reason why Milwaukee won the playoffs, and the Heat's a totally different team. I'm just saying Milwaukee winning the whole thing was because of injuries. I mean, and I'm not taking it away from him.
Wait, did you see Giannis's leg go like that?
I don't know how he even walked.
I don't know how he played.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Listen, if we want to talk about injuries, I will die on the hill that if Goran Dragic and Bam Adebayo are healthy in the finals,
don't say it.
We are champions.
Oh my god!
I won't say champions, but it would have went 7.
Backpacked and dragged the Miami Heat to 6 games.
Look, oh my god! I'm gonna say the same thing that Portland fans say, like when Damian Lillard got injured. Even when they weren't injured, we were demolishing you by 20. Just like we were with Damian Lillard, like before he got injured, like, oh, you're lucky Damian Lillard got injured. When he wasn't injured, we were still crushing him by 20.
2 out of our top 3 scorers and our best defender.
I think it would go further, possibly Game 6, but Game 7. But are you really gonna say the Heat are gonna win?
We lost in 6. If we go to 7, Jimmy Butler's like. We saw him over the thing. He will leave it all on the floor like that. And it's, who knows? Maybe Anthony Davis, his ankle starts to feel a little more sore Game 7, and we never know.
Maybe if the Heat wouldn't have got hurt, the Lakers could have got hurt.
I'm not saying hurt, but maybe Anthony Davis' ankle's a little more sore in Game 7 than it was Game 6.
It was getting wiggly.
See?
So
you guys are happy you won in 6.
That's all I'm saying. I will die on that hill.
You did get the Game 6, but we demolished you by like 30 or 40 points in Game 6. So
Jimmy Butler was exhausted.
I'll give you that. Too much time with Rachel Nichols, man.
Poor Rachel. All right.
Sorry, Rachel
He was,
Nichols, if you ever watch this.
but the
R.I.P. the
Nets,
jump.
I love you. In case you do, I love you.
the Nets are an interesting team to me because if even one of their players is out, they didn't have their starting lineup and they still finished second. Did they finish second in the East, I believe? Or second? They finished second or third last year. Second?
Third.
They didn't have a whole squad.
Well-
They still finished third in the East.
Okay, I was talking about playoffs. Like they were the second best team in the playoffs, right? I mean,
Wait,
There
they
was-
did
they
finish in second
again.
because
Milwaukee
they played
was
Milwaukee
third.
was third and they had game 7.
Oh, yeah, game 7 in Brooklyn. That was scary to me. That was very scary to me. And I think the Nets got better.
Let's see, who did they get?
Patty Mills.
Okay.
They drafted
Solid.
Cam Thomas. Day'Ron Sharp out of North Carolina. They both had very good summer leagues.
so what you're saying is
LaMarcus
Brooklyn may
Aldridge
not
was
lose
back.
a game. With
They got Paul Millsap.
Paul Millsap. I'm not gonna say they're not gonna lose a game, but if I would be surprised if they don't go to the finals this year. Like if they're
Oh yeah.
I would be so shocked because of what they did. They built around those three very well, in my opinion. Patty
It's all
Mills
about
is not
if they
going
can
to miss
stay healthy.
shots. Yeah, Patty Mills is not going to miss shots like Joe Harris did. I'm sorry, but you're not going to see Patty Mills missing those shots. Like
He
Joe
killed
Harris.
it in the Olympics. He killed
Yeah.
it.
I mean, Joe Harris was just missing shots that he usually hits, and then he doesn't shoot. It's surprising to me that he's a great shooter, but doesn't shoot that well from the free throw line. Like that blows my mind.
It's like Luka.
So,
Kinda,
yeah, Luka in
almost.
I don't know what the heck was going on with Luka. I don't get it. But Joe Harris, your only job is to knock down open shots because you're going to get a lot of them. And he just could not hit the broadside of a barn. And you're thinking
Finals
to yourself, yes. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, we got Patty Mills now. Patty Mills is going to be in that closing lineup, right? And provide something that Joe Harris cannot provide, which is speed. And he's going to hit those shots. I promise you, Patty Mills would hit those shots. He would at least.
He can create his own too. A lot
Yeah.
better than Joe Harris can.
A lot better than Joe Harris can. So I think the Nets actually got better.
What is the closing 5 for the Nets?
The usual 3:
Yeah, of course, and Patty
Kevin
Mills.
Durant and whoever.
Patty Mills and Blake Griffin. Maybe
That's solid.
LaMarcus Aldridge. Maybe rebounding. You need a rebounder, but he could go.
You have 4
No
guys
ways.
that can create their own, and Blake Griffin.
Scary.
Mm-hmm. Scary hours there in Brooklyn. I'm gonna try to go to a game this year. Try.
Get you some media pass.
I don't want to work when I go to a game because I'm gonna be doing that enough, Michael.
You don't have to. Just get you some media pass and just go.
I just want to enjoy sports sometimes because I just feel like that, with my job now that I'll be working more than enjoying sports, and I just want to go to an event and not have to worry about tracking down a player, tracking down a reporter, getting. I heard it was HE double hockey sticks doing all that. So when I go, I want to have a day off, and I just don't want to do anything. All right, guys, thank you so much. Any final thoughts before we close the show out?
Just that the Miami Heat would not beat the Lakers if they were healthy.
Okay. Down on the hill.
Healthy Heat and 7. Healthy
Okay.
Heat and 7.
Healthy Heat
One of-
7.
One other note I would like to say, y'all were asking about like my favorite teams. Like one of the teams I really watch is the Utah Jazz, and
Oh, wow.
I really like Donovan Mitchell, but I really feel like he would probably do better somewhere else. I don't have any faith in that team. Rudy Gobert is just I'm not impressed. I've watched way too much of his basketball, and I'm just not impressed. As high as he's ranked, it's just I don't see it. But I don't play professional basketball, so there's that. But the other one is the Suns. I absolutely loved the Suns last year. I mean, that was the most fun I've had watching an NBA basketball team.
Wow.
I
Okay.
guess similar to what Michael said about Milwaukee being in the finals because of injuries, you could say the same thing about the Suns.
We're not going to talk about that. Let's keep on going. Bubble Booker was great.
Move on. Move on.
Yeah.
He took
We
that
can't-
momentum and rode it all the way to the season, and then
Yep.
they rode it all the way through the finals. I think
There
I
was-
think they finished top 3 this year in the West. I do think
There
that.
was a guy that I heard on I want to say a show that said that Milwaukee and the Suns would probably make it to the finals. Amber, do you remember who that was?
Yeah,
Who was that?
we're looking at him. Everybody looking at the middle of the screen.
Okay. Before we log off here, let's just look at this. They played the Lakers without Anthony Davis. We all know they were going to lose that series. Lakers were taking control. Then they played who they play after that? They played help me out,
Clippers?
guys. They played did
Denver.
they play the
Oh,
they
Denver.
played Denver
Oh, they ran
Denver.
through Denver.
without Jamal Murray, okay? And then
I mean, they didn't have
they-
Jamal Murray the whole season, basically, so they had their chance to adapt.
Okay,
be a
but-
new team.
then they played the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals without Kawhi. So every single team was practically missing their best player.
Yeah.
You know what?
It's
This parade
tough.
is still going if you rain or not, okay? This parade is still marching forward. The Suns will repeat something.
Oh,
They,
I-
they
you gonna
were,
write
they
that
were
down?
really fun last year. I mean, with
No.
the veteran experience of Chris Paul, I mean, it was just really fun basketball, and you see these young guys coming up into their own.
Definitely fun.
It was a really fun year for them.
Bubble
I'm a huge-
Booker.
I'm a huge Monty Williams fan, so
Mhm.
wherever he goes,
Wonderful guy.
yeah,
Mhm.
I just love him. He was in OKC. You know, he had a
Shout out
tragic
Monte.
thing-
Come on the show, man.
Yeah, come on, so Monty. He had a tragedy happen in OKC, and he's just a class act. I just love him. Him and Mo Cheeks. I love me some Mo Cheeks. So those two guys will always have a soft spot in my heart. Okay, Michael, you want to do another promo, and I'll do the other.
Sure. You did RX Hemp, right? Let me pull up one of our little banners here. And boom, we'll do this one. Guys, to teespring.com/store/unwrap to find all of our merch. I'm about to grab my shirt, but I don't have it on. You can get all of our live shows, the Count the Bucket, Backs Out Banter, the Fights Unwrapped, the Hard Count,
Ladies first.
Ladies First, which is, I think, the greatest mascot we have on there. There's some LeBron James merch. It's really weird. I don't know why. I think you Perry, of course, you live in LA, so there's something there. But go check that out and get some of our merch.
All right. Last but not least, it's probably
The
the
most
most
important.
Yes. Join the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/unwrapsports. $1 a month, general support. We thank you. We appreciate you. You'll have a secret handshake. $5 a
Ooh.
month. Yeah. You know, just for general support. We gotta show love for general support. $5 a month to become part of the family, of course, and you get that perk of 10% off the Teespring shop that Michael talked about before. $10 a month VIP. I am a part of the VIP club. I believe, Michael, are you a part of the VIP club?
Yes.
Okay, you get 20% off that Teespring shop, all access to the Discord chat in the family plan and the VIP plan. But in the VIP plan, you get put in the running for some merch, something that's going to be signed. We've had Reggie Bush. No, who helmet did we have? Whose helmet was it?
Mark.
What's the Saints player?
Ricky Williams.
Ricky
Ricky
Williams.
Williams,
There we go.
Smoke weed every day.
There you go. You got it. Medicinal purposes only.
Jimmy just came alive now.
Sorry, you mentioned every day.
Jimmy, what you gonna be doing on a Saturday night, Jimmy? Yeah, I'm just saying, you know. Live your life, Jimmy. No judgment here. You get
All right.
put in.
I think Jimmy would have liked
Running
keeping it
to
blunt
some
when we had
merch.
that show going.
Oh man, there he is. Hey, look, just high as can be. So you guys check that out. Patreon.com/unwrapsports. I'm gonna let these guys shout themselves out, and we're gonna sign off. Whoever wants to go first.
We'll just go back order. Jimmy, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Jimmy Jones. I'm kind of new here. Bear with me. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of articles lately. So unwrappedsports.com. You can check out my articles there. Hopefully I'll have a show running here pretty soon. As soon as I get some equipment running. But yeah, anything on Unwrapped, you can check me out there.
Didn't you just release?
At Jimmy Unwrapped.
You just
on
did
Twitter.
a NFL, didn't you, last week?
Yeah, I just finished my first weekly wrap up. I'll be putting one out every week. Just kind of rehashing everything that happened during the week of football. So check it out.
All right.
Go Cards.
There we go. I'm so jealous of you right now. So jealous. You got to meet Angel McCoughtry. So jealous.
She's beautiful. Love her.
I'll go second. Very first time on the show. Very first time with all of y'all. Thank you so much. It was a very fun time. I can't wait to do so many more shows. You'll see me around here often. You can find me on Twitter at SwanRobbie, also on Instagram at SwanRobbie. We'll be getting set up soon with a little bit more of a podcast portfolio. So stay tuned.
I love it.
All right, I'll go next. Thank you guys for having me. I think it's like my third time on. I always come on, have a blast, whether we're talking hoops or the best looking players in the league. That's what I'm here for. You know, I'd draft after dark. Some of my favorite times. You guys can find me on Twitter at Brandon Vicuña or on Instagram at Brandon.Vicuña. Had a great time. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Quack, quack.
You know, I would just like to take this 1 second to say that Kentucky Wildcats are 3-0 in football for like the first time in probably like the 80s when we had Bear Bryant as the coach. But anyways, a lot of people don't know that. Did you all know that Bear Bryant actually coached for Kentucky Wildcats?
I knew that.
I actually did know that.
I did.
He was the coach and Rupp, and they both won the championship. We gave Rupp a Cadillac car and gave Bear Bryant a watch. And Bear said, "I'm out, going to Bama."
That was the end of football.
But anyways, follow me at MD Lawson 00. That's everything, really, like everything, even my email at hotmail.com. But Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Can't believe you guys don't have TikTok. And yeah, all the good things like that. Thursday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time, sometimes 10:30, we go live with my Connie from up in New York. We have Backstop Banter. And again, like I said earlier, great show should be on this week. TJ Antone, the relief pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. So I'm stoked about that. I'm going to try my best not to geek out and act like I'm a professional. Like, yes, sir. Anything you say, sir. And then probably I'll just be like, but, you know, that's how I roll.
It's okay. I almost had a fangirl moment at work, but then I realized that I'm going to have to do this with a lot of people. When I met Andrea Kramer, almost had a fangirl moment. But then I realized, oh, Amber, you're going to be meeting a lot of people. So you can't have a fangirl moment. So I have to hold all my excitement in. You know, just kind of hold it in. Okay, guys. Amber Vickers, that's my name. Follow me on Twitter. Linktree's in the bio. That's all I'm gonna
Short
say.
and sweet.
Short,
Nice.
It used to be long, but now it's really,
Listen,
you know,
guys,
condensed.
for you rookies, it really is long. Like I would get out my notebook and act like, you know, that's how many things you had. Like for real, you have 4 podcasts that you do in this live show, then Ladies First. I mean, is that right?
Let me think.
Too many to count.
I got 2 live shows. I had 2 podcasts, but now I have 1. I might pick that other one back up, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it. Then I have 1 other podcast because the Thunder podcast, I don't know if I'll have time. And since I moved from OKC to Philadelphia, then you know, I got Thunder games, you know, in Oklahoma every time they played. So I'll have the 76ers stuff down my throat, and that's already been happening, and the season hasn't even started yet. So, yeah, I don't know how that's going to exactly work, but I might do some Thunder stuff. I really want to talk about that young team this season, but Philly's going to have some drama this year, and I really want to talk about the 76ers. So we'll see. We'll see. But guys, thank you all so much for joining us. They will be back. We're going to do another panel like this. They will be back because next week will be power forwards. You know, who doesn't love a good power forward? Who doesn't love a good, strong power forward? Also next week.
Another list not to put LeBron on. Yes.
Michael, don't be a hater all your life, Michael. Another thing we're going to do next week, guys, give me your West rankings. How do you think teams will fare in the West? Then the week after that, we're going to do the East. So next week, power forwards in the West. Week after that, we're going to do top 10 centers, which is going to be kind of hard because how positionless. Yeah. And then we're going to do your top. Give me your bottom to top. Bottom to top teams.
I'm lost. I'm lost. What are we doing now?
Power forwards.
Agenda.
I'm gonna put it in the chat next week.
Email me a memo.
Yeah.
I email enough at work. Enough. I'm off till Monday. Power forwards next week.
And then rank our West.
Rank your West.
Okay.
I said from bottom to top because I'm gonna start at the bottom and go to my way to the top.
You're actually gonna rank them this time? Thank goodness. Be like, well,
yes.
This team's gonna.
I'm gonna rank these. Now, ESPN came out with their list, and I'll tell you guys ESPN's list before we get started. And then the week after that, we'll do centers. We'll do the big men that like to be guards, and the East from bottom to top. ESPN has their list out as well. And then next month, they're doing a redraft. If you've seen it around Twitter, they're doing a redraft. So they did 2019 class, 2020 class. They've done 17 and 16. I kind of want to get into that and see how you guys will redraft these guys. I think they're doing lottery picks. So that would be interesting to get into. But next week, if you guys want to come back, you're more than welcome. We would love to have you back on.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
To do your power forwards list. Power forwards is going to be hard too. I think these are probably the two hardest positions to kind of think about because of the way that the NBA plays and what they consider themselves. Because Anthony Davis doesn't like playing the 5. He loves playing the 4. But guess what? This season, he's probably going to play the 5. So where do you rank him? Do you put him on your forwards list or you put him on your centers list? It's going to be interesting.
He played for Kentucky. You can put him on both.
Okay. All right. So I love you guys so much. It is 12 o'clock here. It is my bedtime. And we will see you guys next week.
All right. Sounds good.